Hey, what's up guys, it's T-Bone here and welcome back to another episode of playing Legendary Game of Heroes. So it's been a couple of days since my video on the event Forge Under Siege. There's been a couple of new changes now that's been introduced. They introduce it basically as store reset every day. And I wanted to talk about those changes and then we'll go back and talk about the team I'm running right now for the event. So the first change that they introduced was the ability for you to go to an old relic and then actually upgrade from there. So here's a Deathbringer that was from a long time ago, and I never got a chance to get enough materials to level this to 6 stars. And now if you go to it, and you can see here now, I have the option to do so. So this wasn't previously available. And now you can also see I don't have enough materials to upgrade it. So how would I be able to get the items I need? Well, that's the second and the third changes that were introduced. The second change is actually less obvious here, and that is the total capacity, the total number of relics that you can have has been increased to 50. So for those who have been collecting a lot of relics, there's now more space for you. And then finally, how you can collect the relic materials to forge the ones that were not 6 stars yet. You can see now they've unlocked the gear dungeon. And when you go in there, it has a new look and feel. There is now a banner that says, well, there's a gear dungeon, and then there's a schedule that goes along with it. So you can now see that all of the relics that were introduced in the past, with the exception of a couple, specifically the pumpkin from the mummy event, most of them are here. So you can see you can now purchase 4-star, 5-star, and 6-star relic materials with this new coin that they've introduced as part of the gear dungeon. You can also purchase ores, forge materials, and enchanting rune for various costs. So for my example, if I wanted to get the death rune shard, I would just have to wait until Friday, and then I can purchase the relic materials that I need to then upgrade. And then on Saturday and Sunday stores, these are the various different items that you can use for your other forge items, and you can collect them on the weekends. So how do you collect these tokens? So you can see here, basically it is now available as you go through these levels. The 5 levels that you see here were the original levels that were available for Gear Dungeon, and they've introduced 3 new levels now. They've also increased the overall difficulty of the level. So I went through them and I thought that was really enjoyable. So I kind of wanted to just kind of talk about the team I used to go through them. So let's go through one of them right now. And just like the old dungeon, you can actually bring in an ally as well. And so what I'm going to do is let's just take a look. Now this is a dark event, and so I wanted to bring in a fire card. Let me see if I can find one here. It looks like everybody right now is, basically helping the event out. So they're setting all of their leaders to be the dark thrall card, but I'm going to actually run the fire slayer card. So remember from the previous event, I talked about how Domi is really powerful and really useful here. And in sort of wave situations, his ability is, really important here, because he will spawn he'll spawn fire gems for 3 turns straight, and if you can get enough damage for each of the waves, you'll be able to go through pretty easily. So now let's take a look at the bosses here and see how much health they actually deal. So again, if you kind of double click on it, you can see, so this one has 11 million health, and Long Night Forsaken also 11 million health. So significantly higher health than the previous dungeons. And so this will introduce a challenge, more so than you might have faced in the past. So that might be something new that you may not get used to. And so what you want to do is you want to actually, well, I guess in this case, because I have 2 allies that are boosting my fire warrior heroes, I was able to deal enough damage there. But basically the idea here is when you run Domi, you just want to keep spamming the power here, and I have also the relics that spawn power gems, so it's going to really help. And in this case, what I'm going to do is the name of the game here is to just spawn power gems and then match them just like you would with a forge boss. So if you have this team, I would say you don't actually, it's not necessary to have the Bastarius or Flamma to be successful here. the idea is to be able to, just use the gems, the fire gems that you can generate. In this case, Circasa deck is also another one that would be useful that you can use here. So it's pretty easy here, and then we can see now sort of the rewards that you get. So at the dark one, you will have you see all these drops. Okay, so it actually feels like there's slightly more items that you get here. So see, I can actually get the diamond shard here, so it still drops, which is good. I can also purchase in the shop, and then it also drops 3 gear dungeon coins, and then in addition to that, 2 relics here. And so the second one is the water, and I didn't actually use the fire team for that. And for this one, I just used the dark deck. Okay, so hopefully most of you who were there for the first fall event have this deck. You can simply run this deck, and we can kind of see how this goes as well. And it's relatively quick if you can, basically get 2 cards that boost your, get the ally that boosts your entire team. It's going to give you enough health. Now we can also take a look to see how much damage they actually deal before I actually take them out now. So as normal, let's go ahead and see how much health this second level has. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, there you go. So 25 million. So you can see this is now more than double the health. And so I would expect that I'm not going to be able to just one-shot them this easily. So let's see now. I'm just going to go ahead and get this prepped. And if you remember the way you want to play the Thrall deck. Okay, so you can see that it doesn't deal a whole lot of damage, but then what you have here is Petrify. So some of the gems are actually blocked, and that makes it a little harder for you to do matches because they don't convert. You can't convert those petrified gems into other power gems or other colors. So the way you play, if you remember, just make sure that you're always going through the Narfunk and activating the skill. You can also notice here, I've never mentioned this before, but there's a little icon above the avatar, and it has a counter here. So you can see right now it has the number 1. The second time I activate it, it'll be 2, and that's the number you look for to know that the next time you activate it is when you'll be able to use Thrall or God's Flesh ability. All right, so in this case, what you want to do is just go ahead and activate Victus as well. And I would say, use 1 or 2 of these abilities as you see fit. And you can see none of the petrified gems got affected here, right? So that's what I was talking about. Let's see. Will this be okay? I think this will be fine. So I'm going to go ahead and do this and create a couple of power gems as well at the same time. I'm not sure if this is even going to deal enough damage necessarily. Yeah, so just barely enough to take out 1, and I'm going to have to do another one here. So I'm going to go ahead and just use a skill right now. And I'm going to be, pretty liberal with, using my abilities here, because I know I'm going to take more turns before I will be able to clear out all the waves. And really, I think, the goal here is to get this the cycle enough turns so that I just need 3 turns, so the other cards will get their battle skills back, and so I'm not really worried about that. And in fact, what I can do is I can just wait, waste 1 turn here while I wait, and then I'll have Victus back again. And I already have Narfunk set up and ready to go. So now I'm just going to go ahead and activate Victus. And you can see I can do 1 Thrall and maybe a God's Flesh. And let's do another one just so I can see if I can get the power gems next to each other. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And let's see. This should definitely deal more than enough damage to take them out. And now I have another Thrall, and then I have, let's go ahead and just go and try and activate this. I may not deal sufficient damage here, but let's just try and see. Okay. So I might need to do 1 more, and this time I won't have Narfunk available. Yeah, so I just need 1 more, and then I think I'll take 1 more turn here so that Victus will be enabled. the battle skill for Victus is going to be on, and I'll use all of the abilities here and just go ahead and take out Kata. Now the thing here with gear dungeons is that you don't actually need the 3-star. So getting 3 stars on all of them doesn't give you any benefit. So you can get 1 star and still get exactly the same rewards here. And then you can see now same thing, but now instead of 3 coins, you get 4 coins. All right, so you want to try and get to the second and the last one if you can, because you'll get more coins here. And I'm just going to power through this one really quick and see if I can get another Domi here. If not, I can also try a different way. And I think I saw a friend that or one of my friends has Crimson. So I'm going to use this instead. And let's see. So this is now pairing the Domi deck with Crimson Vengeance. So if you remember, Crimson Vengeance basically creates power gems based on the number of fire gems that's on the board. So having 3 Domis going is really helpful for that, and doesn't hurt the fact that this is a Earth map, so that I have the perfect deck for it. And unlike some other dungeons, it actually keeps to the affinity. So you expect the enemies to actually be Earth enemies instead of in some of the previous maps you can't tell exactly what affinity they were going to be. All right, so now let's go ahead and activate all these skills, get Domi going. And with Domi, it's the higher the intensity you get, the more fire gems it'll create. So by the time you get to the last wave, you'll build up enough intensity to fill most of the board. Okay. Oh, I forgot to check the health of these bosses, so let's go and take a look. So if you remember, the first new level, it was around 11 million, the second was 25 million, and this one is 62.9 million for the Jaguar. So this one's going to be significantly harder, so I would definitely recommend not bringing in a water deck for this. You might have a harder time here. All right, so let's take a look here and see if we can go ahead and do this. I may not have dealt enough damage there, but it's okay, because I'm just going to rinse and repeat again with my next. There you go. Yeah, so still a little bit left. That's okay. So I will go ahead and wait for the power gems to spawn, and then let's do this one more time. Okay, and this should be sufficient now. And now, because I've matched enough gems, Domi only has a 3-turn cooldown. I can go ahead and activate him again. This is why I love Domi. It's you have the fire gems that just keeps spawning for 3 turns, and then at the end of 3 turns you can activate a skill again. So you will never run out of fire gems in each of your waves. And so now let's see. So I filled up almost all the board except for 2, and let's go ahead and use Vengeance, Crimson Vengeance, to get more power gems on the board, so that I can get more damage here. Let's see. Yeah, so piece of cake. So that's it. So those are the 3 new dungeon levels, and the same rewards that you're gonna get here. You'll see there's also 4 coins here, and in addition to that, I'm getting the diamond drops as well as some of the runes, and basically it does feel like I'm getting more compared to the previous dungeon. So this is good. This is really good for anybody who's been playing through the dungeons to collect. And they gave you 10 new keys to go through, so please go ahead and take advantage of that. So now, as promised, I'm going to talk about where I'm at right now. So this is a the deck that I'm running. Actually, I'm not using the water deck, so you can see here I'm actually using the same Fire Slayer deck here. I'm going to just quickly change. Actually, I'm not going to change this one because I didn't get Ondaria from the 5-star collection heroes, so I didn't bother investing in it. So this is the card I'm using right now, and let's just go ahead and let's go ahead and see how this works. So I've had, so with this deck, when it's first introduced, I didn't really have to do this kind of play because it was just so powerful. But now you can sort of see with in the event where it's not a primary affinity hero, you have to do some work to build up the power gem. And so what I want to do is basically just take the turns and just build up the power gems, and make sure that they don't connect. And also, wherever possible, build other power gems affinities, and basically wait for the time when I'm going to be able to activate Domi so that I can convert them into power gems as well. All right, and at some point, there you go, the relics will kick in. And then so depending on how they match, you can see right now they're all connected, so I don't have a choice here. I'm just going to go ahead and activate all the skills now, because if I don't, then I'm going to be losing them anyway. And I'm just going to go ahead and match the gems here and see how much damage this deals. Okay, and so, approximately 300 million each card for a total of 1.5 billion right there on that one hit. So this is still a really powerful and really viable deck. So I've been having success here. I'm just running through this, and in fact, with this deck, I'm still able to deal a total of over 4 billion to take out the level 200 boss by itself. So this is definitely the deck that I'm going to be using. It's a deck to stay, and obviously not everyone has it. I know that, but unfortunately, I don't have the water deck to show. What I can talk about is what I've seen, and that is most people now run with 2 Sapphiros and 2 Ondaria as the primary attacker. Now, if you don't have the ultra rare or the ultra rare card, so you can see here with these two. Without the ultra rare card, you can still run Quack. If you get Quack, you can put him in a team, and you should still be able to get 10 power gems connected, plus any other power gems that you create to basically do a continuous damage. Okay, so the idea is it's not going to be a one-hit deck, but it'll be a multiple-hit deck with this. And let's see, the rest of the, right now I'm still going through the levels here. It's kind of slow. I'm just taking my time going through the levels here, but so far I'm still able to use 1 key with this deck to complete this, so I'm making progress here. Anyway, so that's the update for this event. I think that I like the change in the Forge, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to do for their final either 1 or 2 changes. As you can see, Forge and Forge Boss are still not available, so I'm looking forward to seeing how that's going to be changed. And then don't forget, Bounty Dungeon is available right now. That's free gems for anybody to use. So I know that this is a longer video, and thanks for watching. Hopefully this has been helpful for you. Gives you ideas on what the new dungeon is going to be like. And if you have any questions, any feedback, please feel free to let me know. Thank you for your time. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode. Take care.